Good morning, everybody. Clint with CCUA here with another VEG Out video. Today, a compost experiment that we're going to do. Now, I bet that today, or if not today, then in the last week, you've probably thrown away some food. Now, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that because sometimes this is what food looks like. Food can look like an old brown banana peel or a sad yellow leaf off of some bok choy or some moldy strawberries. So throwing out food isn't always bad. Of course, if the food is good, we don't want to throw it out yet. But if it is starting to go bad, then we have to do something with it, right? And most of the time what we do with it is just throw it in the trash. Now, a lot of us know that there are some other things that we can do aside from throwing our food in the trash. We can actually make a compost system. So today we're going to make our own miniature compost. Now I've got this fancy plastic 3-bin little compost display here. Although I have done this activity a lot of times with nothing but a Ziploc bag and a straw. And that's really all you need, aside from the ingredients to make the actual compost. We'll go ahead and take our lid off here. Take these thermometers out too so we don't accidentally break them. Now, whatever you are choosing to use, whether it's a plastic bin like this or a plastic bag or whatever you got, what you're going to want to do is have 2 main ingredients. So the biggest ingredient is going to be greens or food scraps. The 2 ingredients for compost are greens and browns. So greens are things that have a lot of nitrogen in them, things that have a lot of moisture in them, things like these banana peels and leaves and tomatoes and strawberries. And browns are things that are drier and have a lot of carbon in them. So examples of those would be things like, sawdust or wood chips or shredded up newspaper. Or what we use here on our farm is horse bedding. Which is, yeah, you guessed it, it is horse manure and straw all mixed together. So we're going to add some of these things in here. We're going to start off with a little bit of browns in the bottom of our compost. Just enough to get a little layer down there. Then we're going to start adding some of our food scraps. Now, you don't have to tear it up like this, but I'm going to just because hopefully it'll help it compost just a little bit quicker. And then I'm actually going to add some compost starter. This is some finished compost that I got from our compost pile. Oh, look at that. You can see a lot of worms in there. It's going to be good for our pile. Then let's see. Let's do our this nasty old bok choy leaf next. And we'll add some more in here. Kind of shake it to even it all out. Then we've got these little cherry tomatoes and strawberries that had started to mold. We'll toss those in there. Put the rest of our compost starter on there. And then we'll finish with a little bit more horse bedding right on top. And that way, we've got a nice little compost lasagna, so to speak. We've got nice layers in there of alternating greens and browns. Now, greens and browns are the 2 that I mentioned at first, but there's also 2 other ingredients that we usually don't have to add that go into making compost. And that is air and water. So there's already a lot of moisture inside of the fruit and vegetable scraps that I put in there. So we don't have to worry about adding any water. And there's already holes on the top of this lid, so we don't have to worry about making sure there's air either. But if you do use a Ziploc bag or something similar at home, you do want to make sure that you poke a straw in the top before you zip it all closed. Or if you don't have a straw, you can just leave the top open. But if you don't and you close it off, then no air will be able to get in or out, and it'll really slow down that decomposition process. Let's get our thermometer in there. That way we'll be able to watch how the temperature changes as it decomposes. It'll actually get a lot warmer. This is small enough that it's not going to get too hot, but if you have a big compost pile, you can actually see temperatures up to 150 or 160 degrees inside of that pile. And it's really cool in the wintertime because you can just see the steam rolling off of it. Now, if you end up making your own miniature compost system at home, we would love to see what you come up with, whether that's in a bag or a box or a crate or a tub, whatever sort of container you've got, we'd love to see it. So go ahead and put it in a comment or send it to us in a message. And with that, that is about all we've got for you today. So we will see you all tomorrow.